in the mantle carry rock to volcanic vents and fire it back to the surface. If Jules Verne had been writing today, it's likely he would have sent his heroes to the center of the Earth in some sort of vehicle, as he did in many of his stories. Even now, in the 21st century, technology has some way to go to fulfill that dream. Jules Verne once said that his mind was full of improbable ideas, but that whatever one man is capable of imagining, others will be able to make happen. If he was right, maybe one day we will be able to journey to the center of the Earth.
Δευτέρα 11 Ιουλίου στις 10 και 15 το βράδυ από το ΡΙΚ 1. Συζήτηση για την διαπολιτισμική εκπαίδευση. Στο στούντιο οι καθηγήτριες του Πανεπιστημίου Αθηνών Άννα Φραγκουδάκη και Ελένη Τραγώνα που πρωτοστάτησαν για το πρόγραμμα εκπαίδευσης της μουσουλμανικής μειονότητας της Θράκης. Συντονίζει η Σούλα Χατζικυριακού για μια εκπαίδευση που αντιμετωπίζει τη νέα πολυπολιτισμική πραγματικότητα χωρίς στερεότυπα και φοβίες. Δευτέρα 11 Ιουλίου στις 10 και 15 το βράδυ από το ΡΙΚ 1.
Χρόνια μετά. 4 νέοι που αγωνίστηκαν για την προάσπιση της δημοκρατίας και τη διαφυγή του Αρχιεπισκόπου Μακαρίου και κακοποιήθηκαν μέχρι θανάτου από την ΕΟΚΑ Β.
Έγινε που τέτοια προδοσία για να μην τιμωρηθεί ένας. Επιτρέπεται.
Ένα ντοκιμαντέρ από τη Σούλα Χατζικυριακού. Για να θυμόμαστε αυτά που δεν πρέπει να ξεχνάμε. Παρασκευή 15 Ιουλίου στις 10 το βράδυ από το ΡΙΚ 1. Βλέπετε ΡΙΚ 2.
And a very good evening to you watching the news from the CyBC in Nicosia. I'm Nathan Morley with tonight's top stories. A National Guard naval base on the south coast today literally blew up when explosives and munitions in 98 containers exploded this morning. The massive blast left 12 dead, including the commander of the naval branch of the National Guard, Andreas Ioannidis. The dead also include 6 other officers and servicemen at the naval base and 5 firefighters. The firefighters had been sent to the base to put out a bushfire that broke out around 2 hours before the deadly blast. Outgoing National Guard Chief Petros Salikidis had said that there had been explosions in 2 out of the 98 containers which were packed with dynamite and munitions. However, the head of a Defence Parliamentary Committee, Yanakis Omiru, who visited the scene, said that all 98 containers had gone up in the explosion, a fact which explains the extent of the damage. Mr. Omiru said there was nothing left of the 98 containers, adding that there was danger of further explosions. The force of the explosion opened a 50-metre-wide crater and flattened out installations at the naval base. The blast caused extensive damage in the immediate area and lesser damage about a distance of 10 kilometres away. No official explanation has been announced as to the cause of the explosion, and the government spokesman said that there will not be one until the conclusion of an official inquiry into the tragedy. However, our correspondents put together the sequence of events which led to the disaster. They said that according to a spokesman for the fire department, a message about a fire at the naval base was received at 4:27 this morning. The blast occurred at 10 minutes to 6 and was followed by a big fire breaking out at the Vasilico power station and at the other side of the hill. An eyewitness told our radio station that at the time of the explosion, the earth trembled under his feet and he saw a massive mushroom cloud rising in the air and covering the whole of the naval base. He said that he thought there had been a nuclear explosion. The blasts at the naval base have caused extensive damage to the installations of the base and the nearby power station of the Electricity Authority and to private houses near and far, some as far as 10 kilometers away. The blast wave knocked out the power station and caused a large fire which was put out 3.5 hours later. The Electricity Authority President, Haris Thrasu, said that damage to the power station is very serious and is expected to keep the station out of operation for some time. He also said that the authority is forced to rely on electricity currently being generated by the Dekalia and Moni power stations and that power cuts would be inevitable. The Electricity Authority has issued an appeal to the public to refrain from using air conditioning and conserve power in every possible way. Residents in nearby Mari village said the blast wave had ripped off roofs off their houses and smashed open doors and windows. The community leader at Semmatis Menos village, over 10 kilometers away, said the blast smashed several doors and windows. Several summer houses at the Governor's Beach Sea Resort near the blast point were also knocked down or suffered extensive damage. The explosion sent a cloud of debris falling on the Nicosia-Limassol highway several hundred meters away, endangering the lives of drivers in the morning rush hour. Pieces of pipes and other metal objects were embedded in cars and some drivers were injured as well. Our Limassol correspondent reported that the blast sent tens of thousands of bullet cases raining on the surrounding area, including at the damaged power station itself. Cyprus's Defence Minister Kostas Papakostas and the National Guard Chief submitted their resignations following the massive explosions this morning. The government spokesman Stefanos Stefanou told journalists after a meeting of the Council of Ministers that the resignations have been accepted by President Dimitris Christofias. He added that the Defence Minister and the National Guard Chief, Petros Salikidis, assumed responsibility for this tragic event and added that their resignations have been accepted by President Christofias. He asked that they stay in their posts until replacements are reappointed. Mr. Stefanou confirmed that the toll of the massive explosion stood at 12 people and that 62 people have been hospitalized, 2 of them remain in critical condition tonight. Mr. Stefanou said a 3-day public mourning period has been declared for the dead. The spokesman excluded the possibility of a terrorist attack as the cause of the explosion. Mr. Stefanou confirmed that the containers with the munitions and dynamite had been unloaded from a Russian-owned ship in 2009 for violating United Nations resolutions imposing an embargo on Iran. However, he said that the vessel had sailed from Iran and was bound for Syria, reversing earlier information that it had sailed from a Syrian port for Iran. President Dimitris Christofias visited the ravaged Mari naval base early in the morning and expressed shock at the extent of the damage. President Christofias said he was dismayed not so much by the extent of the damage, but by the loss of life and the large number of people injured by the blast. He described the damage at the base as being biblical, but said it can be repaired. Mr. Christofias added that there is no way of making up for the loss of human life. The President extended his sympathy with the families of those killed in the blast today. The containers which blew up today at the naval base have been there for about 2.5 years, despite warnings about the dangers involved. The government spokesman confirmed that the containers had been unloaded from a Russian-owned ship, the Monchigorsk, in 2009 after it had been intercepted for violating United Nations resolutions imposing an embargo on Iran. A reporter at our television station probing into the affair said the ship had been intercepted after the United States had asked Cyprus to intervene, claiming it had been violating United Nations resolutions. The ship was forced to anchor south of Cyprus after several days of inspections on its cargo. It was then led into Limassol port. The cargo was unloaded from the ship in February 2009 and was taken to the base at Nari for safekeeping. Accusations were made today against unnamed officials for neglecting to take care of the dangerous containers at that naval base, though there had been repeated warnings about the dangers of a mishap. The son of the base commander who was killed in the blast said his father had voiced serious concerns last week after a small explosion in one of the containers. The explosion had caused a hole in one of the containers, exposing part of its content. He also said that only yesterday his father and other officers had noticed the containers had started to bulge out and they'd heard small explosions. Officials told our station that they were unaware of a meeting early last week at which ways of dealing with the containers were being discussed. And that's it from our news. Let's take a look at the weather forecast, when we can expect fine skies, with overcast skies though turning up in the mountain areas tomorrow afternoon. Winds will be light southeasterly to southwesterly, force 3 in the morning, turning moderate southeasterly to southwesterly in the afternoon, force 4 to 5 over slight seas. Still remains hot. Temperatures will rise to 38 degrees Celsius inland, 34 in eastern and southern and northern coastal regions, 30 over the west and north and mountain regions. And of course, no need to tell you the fire hazard remains extremely high in all forest areas. I can tell you I'm back at 8 o'clock on CYBC National Radio with an update on today's events. From us all here, good night.
For those animals and plants which were able to adapt to the changing conditions, the Great Rift has promoted a remarkable burst of evolution.
Το Μεγάλο Ρήγμα, σειρά ντοκιμαντέρ παραγωγής του BBC, από την Τετάρτη 13 Ιουλίου και κάθε Τετάρτη στις 6 το απόγευμα στο RIK 2.
Can't you understand? It's not my law. You obey their orders. You wear their uniform. Don't you see? You're nothing but their trained dog.
Use your shotguns.
Brothers and sisters, today we have a word for Pretoria. Amandla! Amandla!
Μπόμπα με τον Ντάνι Γκλόβερ. Την 5η 14 Ιουλίου στις 9 το βράδυ στο RIK 2. Βασισμένη σε πραγματική ιστορία. Η μάχη Άνηση.
To get dumped. Where? Out back, on the ground. You saw this? Yes. When? My coffin break, I put a flat with 900 shots. Golf ball.
Ένας αμήλικτος αγώνας αρχίζει με απρόβλεπτες συνέπειες για όλους. Ο κατήγορος. Την Παρασκευή 15 Ιουλίου στις 9 το βράδυ, στο RIK 2.
Παγκόσμιο κύπελλο γυναικών FIFA 2011 στην Γερμανία. Από τις 26 Ιουνίου ζωντανά από το RIK 2 και το RIK HD.
χρόνια μετά. 4 νέοι που αγωνίστηκαν για την προάσπιση της δημοκρατίας και τη διαφυγή του Αρχιεπισκόπου Μακαρίου και κακοποιήθηκαν μέχρι θανάτου από την ΕΟΚΑ Β.
Έγινε που έτσι